what are the pros and cons of being a loan officer? I've been a loan officer for a little over 2 years. I'm coming up on my third year. And I wanted to talk about what are the pros and cons of being a loan officer. So, number one, there is no cap on your income. So, depending on where you work, I guess it really depends if you're going to work at a bank or if you're working as a broker. I'm speaking from the broker aspect because I work for a broker, but there's no cap on your income. So basically, how many ever deals you close that month, how many ever deals you close, that is what you're going to be making. And there's no cap on that. So if you close 10, if you close 15, if you close 5, 20, all of that is income that you're going to be making. And there's no cap on it. There's no limit to how much money you can make. I know with some companies, they do limit the amount of commission that you're able to take on. Like, for example, there was a company I know that at one point they would allow you to make your commission, but you were not able to basically cap over 15,000. So if you hit over 15,000, you wouldn't be making that money. I don't know the structure of that company. I don't know if it went to the broker or if it went to the company. I don't know, but I just know that there was a company that I know at one point that there was a cap on their commission. So that's a good thing that about this career that I love is that there's no cap. You are able to make as much as you are able to produce is how much you can make. And this is good because you can make anywhere from nothing to thousands of dollars per month. So that's one of the probably most positive things that I love about doing loans is that there's no cap on your income. The second thing that I love about being a loan officer is that it's very rewarding. So that's one thing that I didn't take into account when I first got my license is that it's really rewarding when you first help someone purchase their home or when you do it all the time. You will feel so accomplished. You'll feel so good helping people. And I didn't really realize it until I started to close loans and then also when I did a cash out refinance. When I did my first cash out refinance, that basically changed my life because it just really opened my mind to the fact that, okay, yes, you make good money doing this. Yes, you may like doing this, but you are really helping people achieve their dreams of home ownership. And I know a lot of times there's people that think that they're not able to buy or they think they're not ever going to be able to buy a home. But you being able to be there to help them do that is so rewarding. The third thing is that it is not boring. I don't know if anyone have ever felt this way before about a particular job they are working, but there's times where you may get a new job and the job has so many certain amount of tasks that you have to do. And once you complete those tasks for a certain amount of times, after I would say usually there's a learning curve of 3 months, you usually get the gist of the job and you're basically doing the same thing every day, repetition, repetition. When you're doing loans, there's never going to be a time where you feel like I know everything, I've experienced everything, and I'm bored. Every day is different. Every loan that you get is different. Every file is going to be different. There's going to be different people you're going to be working with. There's going to be different people that you're going to be working with throughout the transaction that is going to be different from the previous people you work with. So it's never a dull moment. It's never a day where you're say, or for me, I could speak for myself. There's never been a day where I've been like, oh my gosh, it's so boring. I've maybe been stressed out, but I've never honestly can say that, oh, I've been bored. I didn't want to do this anymore. I want to give up on it because it's so boring. You are definitely going to be doing all types of different things. So it's never a point where you could feel bored. And correct me if I'm wrong. If there's somebody in the industry that have got to the point where they felt bored, then let me know. Comment down below. But I've never got to the point where I felt like I was bored or I didn't want to do it anymore because it was boring. You are definitely going to be kept on your toes. And if you're some type of if you're the type of person that doesn't that likes to always be doing things and you don't like to be stagnant, you like to challenge yourself, you like a challenge, then definitely this is going to be the career for you. So, yes, I love the fact that you never feel bored. There's always something you can learn. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to be talking about is the amazing people that you get to meet. So, That's one of the things that I noticed as well, is that in this industry, it is a relationship based industry, meaning that a lot of times, I mean, you can do good other ways, but the most important way to be successful in this industry is by building relationships with other people. And I've always been the type of person that has been very introverted. I never went to like networking events. I never went to events where I've been trying to meet people and get to know them and build relationships with them. But that's definitely going to change once you get your license, or if you decide to get in this industry. There's going to be times you don't have to necessarily go to those events, but there's going to be events that you are able to go to, and you'll meet people. You will meet some very cool, awesome people in this industry. And I've met some people from when I started up until now that I've become friends with, and we've really grown a serious friendship based off of me networking and getting out and meeting people and just being immersed in this industry. So that's another positive thing that I like about this industry. So the last pro that I'm going to be talking about is going to be the fact that you're able to create your own schedule. So you are 100% commission based, and we're going to talk about that in the cons as well, but you are 100% commission based, which means you come and go as you please. You create your own schedule. You are able to take off if days that you want to take off. You're able to, if you have a doctor's appointment, you're able to leave for your doctor's appointment. You have school, you're able to, or a kid's school, you're able to leave and pick up your kids or take your kids to school. So there's a lot of flexibility with this career. So now that we've talked about the pros, we're going to go into the cons of being a loan officer. And this is coming from somebody that's actually in the industry, that's been in the industry for over 2 years, that has experienced everything, about this industry. Okay, so the first con that we're going to be talking about is what we talked about earlier in a pro, is that it's commission based. So how this can be a con is that if you're commission based, 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to be commission based unless you work for a bank. You are only paid if you close a loan. So anybody that's been in the industry knows that you may not close right away. Like, let's say you get your license this month, you may not close a loan right away. There's going to be times where you have to put work in. So the rule of thumb that people usually say is that the work you put in today is going to yield results in 90 days. So when you get in the industry, unless you know somebody right off the bat that wants to get a loan or that needs a loan, you're more than likely going to be trying to get your first loan in, or yeah, trying to get your first loan in. And that may not take place until 2 to 3 or more months later. So what that means is that in the meantime, while you're working on getting that loan closed, you're not going to be getting a commission check. So you're going to keep that in mind, that if you are going to be getting the industry, you want to make sure that either you have some money saved up, or maybe if you have like a spouse, or you have someone that is able to take care of the bills or your portion of the bills in the meantime until you are able to close your first loan, then that's something that you want to keep in mind, because you are not going to be making money right off the bat. And that is one of the biggest misconceptions about being a loan officer, is that you're going to be the money's going to be flowing right away. I'm going to talk about that in another video, because I really do feel like that is very important to talk about, because that's the misconception that I had, is that you're going to be rolling in money and cash right away. That could happen, but at the same time, a lot of times it will take time for you to start making money. So you want to keep that in mind. The second thing, which I guess it kind of goes hand in hand with the first con, is that it's a sales position. So if you are someone that is not, you don't like cold calling, you don't like sales, doing any type of sales, then this may not be the industry for you, because, or I wouldn't say that it may not be the industry for you. Being a loan officer may not be for you, but there are other positions in this industry that you may be able to get into as well. But for now, we're talking about loan officers. So sales position, meaning that you're going to be calling, you're going to be updating, you're going to be cold calling a lot of times, you're going to be trying to get business in. So whether that's contacting real estate agents, whether that's going to networking events, whether that's setting up home buyers consultations, doing seminars, those type of things are things you're going to be doing in this industry. And if you are someone that does not like to cold call, I'm not saying you're not going to be successful, because you can be successful. You're just going to have to do it in a different way, but you're going to have a harder time than if you were okay with it or if you were open to doing it. So it is definitely sales. You are going to be responsible for getting your leads in, and the way that you get them in is through sales. So that is another thing, because I know someone asked me, is loan officer a sales position? And yes, depending on what type of loan officer you are. Like if you work at a bank, that's different, because there's times when if you work at a bank, the clients come in to you and all you're doing is servicing them and helping them out. But if you're a broker and you're independent, then yes, you are definitely gonna be doing sales. The third con, so this could be a pro or a con depending on the way you look at it, but I don't think it's a con, but I'm saying it as a con for people that are introverted. So you have to be a people person. And what I mean by that when I say it is that you have to be someone that likes to talk to people. You have to be someone that at least can engage in conversation. Because, like I was saying in the pros, this is a relationship building business, meaning you are going to do the best if you build relationships with other people. So, you want to be talking to people, you want to be introducing yourself to people, you want to be social, you want to be nice, you want to be friendly. Those are all things that you're going to want to do that's going to help you be successful. And I say being a people person as a con is because, like I said, if you're an introverted person, then this may be a con for you, because introverted people don't really like to talk to a lot of people, or they don't like to engage in conversation, or they like to do it in their own way. So being a people person, you are definitely going to have to be a people person. And that's something that I learned too. Because I remember I had a friend and she was like, I'm not a people person. She was like, I wouldn't mind being a loan officer, but I'm not a people person. And then this is when I first started. I was like, you really don't have to be a people person. But as the months and the time went on, yes, you have to be a people person. I'm a people person. If you are an introvert, that doesn't mean that you cannot be successful. You have to just be open to being those things to be successful. So as long as you're willing and open to doing those things, then you should do good. This one I actually talked about earlier, but I'll put it here as well, is that you can go months without closing a loan. That's just something just to keep in mind, is that there's a period of time where you may go a month or two, or a few months without closing a loan. So that's why you want to make sure that when you get paid, when you get your commission, that you are saving up for those rainy days, because there's going to be times where you're closing 10 loans a month, and then there's going to be times where you're closing none. So you want to make sure that the times where you're closing a lot of loans a month, that you are saving, and you are making sure that you're making sure that you're putting up some money for the times where you may not close. And that's something, so you have to be really good with money management, especially in the beginning, until you get to the point. I mean, you should always be good with money management, but you're going to have to be really good with money management until you get to the point where you're consistently closing loans. Then you may be able to do a little bit more things, but you definitely want to make sure that you are saving your money, because there's going to be months that you're not going to close a loan. And I'm just making you aware of that now. I'm being realistic with you. I hope this video was helpful for someone. If this video brought you some value, then make sure you give me a thumbs up. Once you give me a thumbs up, that lets me know that this is the type of content that you guys like to watch, and I will continue to make content like this. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon.